So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, dear students. Now again, we are going to start from total parenteral nutrition, our second topic of aseptic dispensing. Yesterday, I told you about the definition. It's a method of feeding the patients by infusing the mixture of necessary nutrients into the circular system, thus by passing the GIT, also referred to as intravenous nutrition, parenteral nutrition. What happens that when the patient is parentally ill, he or she cannot take feed diet by oral route, by enteral route, he has to switch over toward the intravenous nutrition or parenteral nutritions are advised. You can see the total nutrition bag, how it is supplied. You have seen that the IV infusions, which mostly have up to 1 liter volume, but here volume is more than 1 liter, mostly up to 3 liters volume can be administered, can be applied, can be given to a patient, which contains all type of nutrients which are required for a healthy person. Again, parenteral nutrition is indicated generally when there is severe gastrointestinal dysfunction, patient who cannot take sufficient food or feeding formulas by internal routes. The two types of mostly there are two types of parenteral nutrition. One is central or total parenteral nutrition. Second, peripheral parenteral nutrition. In total parenteral nutrition, the patient only remain on this parenteral nutrition. In peripheral parenteral nutrition, they can be given nutrition through parenteral, but likewise, if the patient can take through oral routes, he can be allowed. Now, you say various type of the routes through which this parenteral preparation can be given. It can be peripherals, PPN, peripheral parenteral nutrition, TPN, total parenteral nutrition, nasoduodenal tubes, through that can be given, nasoduodenal tube, through that can be given, genostomy tubes, that in that area can be feed, can be pushed over through that, gastrostomy tube through the stomach, nasogastric tube through the nasal area. Because when the patient can't take feed by himself, so we have various ways, we have various methods, we have various routes through which we can administer that nutrition. Because the patient cannot survive without any nutrition. That's why there's various area where that can be. These areas that GIT, through that if it cannot be administered, then it go through the intravenous methods, intravenous routes, total parenteral nutrition and peripheral parenteral. Go further. Now, one is central or total parenteral nutrition. It is given via central vein. Central route is indicated when long-term feed is anticipated, high intensity or large volume formulations are required. Peripheral parenteral nutrition. It is given in via peripheral vein. It is indicated for patients which requires short-term feedings. Again, 900 ml is maximum osmolarity tolerated by the peripheral vein. Now, these are the ways. Peripheral veins catheter, mostly it has to be applied through catheter. One side on the peripheral venous catheter, another one mostly the big vein of the body, that is jugular vein, whatever, it has been applied through that. Because in case of cancer patients, the veins remain so, it's so difficult that due to the ailment, you can't give that drug through that veins. So mostly it can be given through the jugular vein, whatever it is. You can see in various systems how that drug is approached. Now its clinical aspects. With understanding of the clinical aspects, of TPN, pharmacists can recommend regimens to fulfill the needs of the patient as diagnosed by the patients, by physicians. Possible interactions with concomitant medication may be identified and advice given on suitable administration system. Now, what happens there? As you can take that in case of other medication, various regimens has to be given. That those regimen can be advised. Here, the recommended regimen can be given by pharmacists how that drug is administered in the time interval. Similarly, there can be the different interaction between the drugs. So a pharmacist must know what type of drug interactions are possible during that parenteral nutritional administration. Now, indicate when patient has to be advised, patient has to be prescribed that parenteral nutritions. Now, one patient who cannot tolerate enteral nutrition because of a patient cannot take through oral routes and feed or nutrition through oral routes. So, due to the paralytic ileus, intestinal obstruction, acute pancreatitis, inflammatory bowel disease, gastrointestinal fistula, severe diarrhea, persistent vomiting, malabsorption. Because if there's the intestinal obstruction or acute pancreatitis, in these conditions, patient can't take food or nutrition through oral routes. So he has to be advised, he has to switch over toward the parenteral nutritions. Furthermore, hypermetabolic states for which enteral therapy either not possible or inadequate, severe burns. In case of burns, it's not possible the patient can take through the oral routes. NP for more than 5 days. If the patient was not taking food for more than 5 days, he can be switched over to the parenteral nutritions. Acute renal failure, multiple fractures, tumor in GI tract, patient at risk of malnutrition. Of course, if someone is underweight, or metastatic cancer in case of last stage of in terminal stage of cancer, metastatic patient can't take that feed through oral routes, so he can be switched over to the parenteral nutritions. Pediatric GI disorders, prolonged diarrhea happened to the children, so they also switch over to the parenteral nutritions. So how administration is there? In an intensive care unit, for example, requirements for fluid and electrolytes may change rapidly throughout the day and require the careful titration that can only be obtained with smaller volume fluids and injections. So to control the volume of that parenteral nutrition, because they are larger volumes, so you may have seen in that one of drips, they are 1 liter up to that 1 liter volume. So if these parenteral nutrition have more than 1 liter volume, so the volume control infuser may be added while administration of these parenteral nutritions, or they are given to various catheters. Special type of catheters or sets can be attached to that bags or parenteral nutrition for safe distribution, for safe application of the nutritions. Furthermore, articles for administration of the parenteral nutrition, bag of parenteral nutrition. There are attached administration tubing with Luer lock connections, hypoallergenic tapes, face masks, sterile gloves. Now you can see a bag of parenteral nutritions. Now assessment. Once TPN has been initiated on a patient, it is essential that routine monitoring is carried out. The clinical pharmacist should have an understanding of the relevance of these routine tests, particularly those such as 24 hours urine analysis, which is the main determinant of nitrogen requirement in order to make adjustments to the TPN formulation. Now, when the patient is inside in the hospital, then it is possible that its regular labs may be conducted. Now, formally, how the TPN is prepared. Parental nutrition solutions are complex formulations that generally what they includes energy supplied as they have dextrose, fat, protein, electrolytes, trace elements, vitamins, and water. These components usually need to be individualized for patients according to their primary diagnosis, chronic disease, fluid and electrolyte balance, acid-base status, and specific goals of parental nutrition. Now, depending upon the requirement of the patient, which type of diseases and what type of parental arts prescribes. Further, the component of that TPN is that protein requirement is there, dextrose, fat emulsions, fluids, sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, trace elements, these all has to be added in that TPNs. Fluids. In the human body, water is the predominant chemical entity, generally accounting for more than half of the total body weight. An inverse relationship exists between the amount of body fat and the amount of body water. So it must be having fluids has to be added in that preparations. Nutrients are mixed. Now, how to mix the nutrients? Nutrients are mixed just prior to infusion by breaking the plastic connectors between the compartments. Then vitamins, trace elements are added extemporaneously to the bag. Now, shelf life may be up to 12 months. The use of 3 compartments TPN bag is less expensive in terms of application cost than separate bottles of hospital compounded bag systems. The complexity of the parental nutrition products safe preparation is a complicated task. The quality of the final product depends on the facilities, resources, personal training, and products used in preparation. So, compounding must be a skilled person have to do that compoundings. Now, since the inception of the parental nutrition, pharmacists have developed policies and procedures for parental nutrition, compounding based on their training and interpretation of the literature. Now, parental nutrition is considered a high-risk trial product. Its compounding includes complex and are numerous except manipulation. Now, the pharmacist is responsible for the preparation of that total parental nutrition, that how they can be prepared, whatever they have to do. Now, mostly the parental route of administration is very risky. So when you are going to administer these parental nutrition, they are more risky as compared to other injectables. Now, compounding has to be done in aseptic processing. It includes media fill validation of both the process and the personnel carrying out the process. Now, they must check that validations because they must be free from any microorganism in that area. They must have to maintain the aseptic conditions. There are specific requirements for facilities, space, and environmental control similar to those of a class 100 clean room environment. So it has to be prepared in such type of clean room. Now, step products release checks required visual inspection against a lighted white and black background for evidence of visible particulate or other foreign matter. You know, this particulate matter has to be checked on a lighted white and black backgrounds. So after preparation, it has to be checked on that there must be free from particular matters in that TPN. In addition, compounding accuracy checks of the addition of all drugs products are ingredients used to prepare the parental nutrition. Products are ensured by validating the volume and quantity used in admin. So it's very critical that they must have to check its accuracy of the ingredients which are added to that TPN. The pharmacists involved in TPN should have a thorough understanding of the potential stability issues in these mixtures and be able to advise physician accordingly. Now then, after preparation, this TPN has to be labeled. In general, the following information will be required: the patient name, ward, product constituents, batch, expiry date, storage. It all should be in a good manner. It has to be placed over that TPN preparations. Other instructions such as guidance on administration's rate or technique, limitations on further addition may also be required. Now, how that drug is applied, how much this flow rate, these all things has to be written over that label for the safety of the patients. When the product has been filled and label pharmacist should perform a final check against the prescription prior to sending the products to the ward. The pharmacist has to check the product according to the prescription required by the physicians. This check should include the patient's name, wards, should once again compare the constituents requested against the final label. So there are 3 checks has to be done for TPN. Details of further additions, storage condition, expiry dates should also be confirmed, and the batch number or other references allocated should be checked to facilitate traceability in the event of any difficulties arising subsequent of dispensing, maybe precipitations, discolorations. So it has to be checked. The house pharmacists may be involved in development of nursing care guidelines with particular reference to further additions, storage, etc. Now the pharmacist has to also give guidelines to nursing how the drugs are dispensed, how the drugs are administered. It may also be useful for the ward pharmacist to check that TPN is being correctly administered to the patient with correct flow and control device away from direct sunlight. So the pharmacist will post in a ward, a clinic pharmacist during that administration, during that application, must check that it's a correct flow can be given through that control device. Packaging, where the supplies of compounded products are to be made to hospitals or home patients away from the site of manufacturers. The quality of the packaging system to maintain product temperature during transit should be validated to the satisfaction of local quality control standards. Insulated polystyrene containers may be useful for this purpose. Cost. Now in a hospital where their patient is have been for paid patients, the cost has to be calculated. Providing treatment compounding service within hospital may be a costly venture for the pharmacy department. All the factors must be considered when developing true service costs and deciding whether to produce in-house or obtain product from a regional hospital or commercial. So the calculation of cost must be done for the patient where the patient are paid for that one. Bags. Bags made of polyethylene and polyvinyl chloride and of the copolymer ethylene vinyl acetate were used as containers or perfusion solution for total parental nutrition. Now, there's special type of containers in which the drugs are dispensed or prepared. Injectable solution for total parental nutrition containing L-amino acid electrolytes, glucose are commonly sold as a medicine specialties in glass containers. Bags made up of plastic material such as copolymer ethylene, vinyl acetate, polyethylene, and polyvinyl chlorides are being used more and more often in the manufacture of container of perfusions. So these type of chemicals are used for container for the TPN. Now, you are aware that whatever the formulation has to be done, it must be documented, must be written over there. So a worksheet should be generated for each TPN dispensing activity to be carried out by recording materials, patient's name, label details. The format for such a worksheet should be agreed between the production and quality control department of the hospital in accordance with the local policy. So, a documentation must be done where while uh, from receiving the prescription up to the dispensing. The role of pharmacists: prescribe the nutrients formulation, recognize the needs of individual patients, modification in quantities according to clinical situation of patients, monitor the interactions among various electrolytes and drugs effects, TPN mixer, assist the healthcare team in developing a cost-effective formulary of nutrition products. Now this again I'm doing bag of parental nutrition. You can see this type of bags mostly at dispensed to the patients.
Sir?
Just a minute.